Since I started the iotaWave project, people have been asking me why target the SMEs? Well, the answer's simple. SMEs are a huge market. I tend to look at things on a 10-year time frame. If we go back 10 years to, say, the year 2000, we see where companies were then and where companies are now in terms of IT. There's been a huge improvement, leap forward in many cases, thanks to the internet. The connectivity of the internet has been around for about 10 years. Some areas have benefited greatly. The consumer market will have mobile phones, broadband, online gaming. The consumer market's benefited hugely. The multinational, the large corporates, the companies with IT departments, they've really come on in the last 10 years. Companies that have hardly moved at all are the mass of the SME market. The small companies, the 5-person up to 50-person type companies. These have only come forward a short way in 10 years. 10 years ago they picked up on email, and now they're using email, and that's pretty much all they do now, which is different from 10 years ago, which, if you think about it, is pretty stunning. Now, it comes down to the IT industry. The IT industry sells to consumers. I think we all know how they do that. They sell to IT departments. You cannot sell information technology unless you're talking to people who understand what it can do. And this tends to be two areas. This tends to be technical people, i.e. people in IT departments. SMEs do not have IT departments. Or it's senior management who can understand the concepts of investment, return on investment, productivity. These things are not natural to small companies who have grown from the ground up. So the IT industry has a great deal of difficulty selling to companies like this. The market broadly divides into three. The consumer market, the large company, multinational if you like, with IT departments, and all the other businesses, SMEs. Now, an SME is not a $200 million turnover company with 200 employees. That's a larger company. That's a large, medium-sized company, really. The SME, 95% of the world's markets, 50% of GDP in most countries, are those small companies, maybe 5 employees, maybe up to 50 employees. Okay, so people ask me, what about open source software? Can I use open source? Again, we have to look at the 3 major segments of the market. Open source software may be used at the consumer level by people at home on their PCs for playing games or whatever. Not really relevant to an SME. Corporates, IT departments will make heavy use of open source. Every IT department uses open source software from a whole range of database, middleware, operating system type applications. When it comes to SMEs, less so. No one in the SME, remember, knows how to install and utilize the software. Maybe the SME uses OpenOffice, and he certainly should. It's a very, very viable alternative to Microsoft Office. But in terms of the operating systems, the database, the middleware, open source doesn't really do a great deal. So maybe open source is useful to SMEs, but only if the application software is actually available at the same time. This is why the iotaWave project is open source, so that system integrators, the small companies that do supply to SMEs, can easily set it up, easily install it, behind the company firewall, i.e. on-premise for a company, easily enough. So iotaWave has been designed so that it's very simple to install, very simple to set up, and very functional. What if we could take a cloud computing or software as a service model as offered by companies such as Salesforce.com, but actually apply general business application software, sales processing, purchasing processing, accounting, email management, document library management. This is what iotaWave is, and iotaWave.com will offer these services as a software as a service model. The type of system going forwards that's really going to make an impact is one that builds upon the communication nature of email and makes it more collaborative. This is what a wave system is. It takes the idea of sending emails backwards and forwards, but it does two things. It makes it faster, it makes it more real time. Instead of an email being sent, going into an inbox, somebody reads it, later on replies, it shortens the time between responses and requests. Secondly, it allows you to integrate business operations, business documents, in a more integrated style within that transaction itself, not as an attachment to email, which needs unattaching, but directly within the communication itself, so that all emails which relate to each other are connected together to form a wave. In 2009, Google specced out a technology which they called Wave. They were not the first to do this. IBM, Novell, SAP, Salesforce are all working in these areas or all have products already released. These systems on the surface look like Facebook, are more social. What they actually are is a means of taking components of business transactions and putting them together into what could be called a wave instead of an email-based system. In an email system, everything is separate. Every email comes in, it's put into an inbox on somebody's PC, then you reply to it, actually tracking all of these things, coordinating them, keeping them together. It can be a nightmare if you actually attach documents to emails, PDF documents, Word documents, attach them to an email, send them to somebody else has to unattach it, save those documents on their desktop. You've broken the connection again. You finish up with thousands of emails across dozens of PCs, thousands of documents, all spread around, and no structure, no coordination. What collaboration systems do, wave-based systems do, is group all of that together and gives the flow of business transactions within a company some structure, some searchability. This is what iotaWave is. A foundation for SMEs to build their business processes, their business operations upon something that comes naturally, email. But it takes it up to the next level. Small businesses need to link up with their customers and their suppliers. That is a social thing, if you like, although social is not the best word. It's more business relationship. iotaWave, again, is designed to include, from the ground up, that social nature, but not in a silly Facebook or Twitter type way, but in a way where we take email and we build upon email. Email is business communication. So how do we take a foundation of email and include the sales, purchasing, inventory, etc. processes into email itself? This is what a wave system is, and this is what iotaWave is. You know, to me the bottom line is that the IT industry in general is out of sync with the demands, the requirements of the mass SME market. I've been involved in building software, consulting with, supporting, looking after SMEs for over 15 years now. And I really do not see any change in the offerings and products from the IT industry to the SME. And that opens a huge opportunity. Someone has got to do something. And it's not, oh, go and use Facebook or Twitter. That is specifically what iotaWave is looking at. It's designed on levels. Level 1 is to take email as a foundation and build upon that foundation with wave-based systems. Level 2 is to incorporate sales processing, sales transactions. Level 3, purchasing transactions. Level 4, accounting transactions. Level 5 takes it further and includes inventory management. Level 6, online catalog management that's linked directly into the inventory database. And Level 7 looks at server-based computing and thin client management. This is the logic and the thinking behind the iotaWave project.